Hello friends, welcome back to my blind playthrough of Planescape Torment. This is episode 28, and we are back here in the Dead Nations. Now, it's been a while since I recorded the previous episode, a little over a week in fact, so I'm trying to remind myself as best as I can of the things that we did, and I'm pretty sure we read the two circles, the first and the second circle of Zerthimon. But confusingly enough, in the journal, it only speaks about the first one. So yeah, Dakon agreed to teach me the way of Zerthimon. He unlocked the unbroken circle of Zerthimon for me, and he told me to study it and know the history of its people. Or his people, right? Which, there was quite a lot of stuff in there. I'm sure it will all come back to me as I interact with Dakon some more, because that is what we're going to start this episode with. And our last journal entry so far is I came to understand the first circle of Zerthimon by bringing my own wisdom to the text. In exchange, Dakon opened the next circle of Zerthimon to me. I think he intends to teach the unbroken circle to me in stages, unlocking each circle as I come to understand the previous one. Yeah, but as I said, I think I've already read the two, right? So
Endure.
let's just talk to Dakon a bit. Can I talk to you about your teachings? That's the key option here. I have read the Unbroken Circle of Zerthimon. I want to speak to you more about the way of the Zerthimon. Oh, really? Did I only read it and not talk to him about it? That's not how I remember it. Okay, yeah, no. So, I was right. Where we are at right now is we are supposed to read his circle for the third time. Or read the third circle, but the naming here is confusing a bit. Alright, unlock the third circle of Zerthimon. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakon showed you, and a new ring is revealed. The ring carries the same script as you read before, with the same geometries. You know the symbols and know you can read them. Zerthimon labored many turnings for the illithid Arlathi twice deceased and his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. I'm sorry, what does that sentence even mean? Labored many turnings for the illithid Arlathi twice deceased. Okay, sounds like an illithid person, dignitary, something like that. And his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. Heavens of the false worlds. Meaning like the worlds that were created by the other worlds? By thoughts in the other worlds? Maybe. His duties would have broken the backs of many others, but Zerthimon labored on, suffering torment and exhaustion. It came to pass that the illithid Arlathi twice deceased ordered Zerthimon before him in his many-veined Galeria. He claimed that Zerthimon had committed slights of abstinence and cowardice against his partnership. The claim had no weight of truth, for Arlathi only wished to know if flames raged within Zerthimon's heart. He wished to know if Zerthimon's heart was one of a slave or of a rebel. Well, that's the Githzerai interpretation of those events, of course, if these events happened in the first place. Interesting, then. I would like to know more about this Arlathi twice deceased from non-Gith sources, preferably. But then again, the Illithids are not particularly reliable narrators or sympathetic characters at all, right? From what I know about them, which again comes mostly from Baldur's Gate 3, to be honest. They are prominently featured there. Zerthimon surrendered to the illithid punishment rather than reveal his newfound strength. He knew that were he to show the hatred in his heart, it would serve nothing and it would harm others that felt as he. He chose to endure the punishment and was placed within the pillars of silence so he might suffer for a turning. Interesting. I mean, this Zerthimon kind of reminds me of Dakon. That is to say, the other way around, probably, right? It seems like... I mean, I don't know Dakon all that well, to be honest, because he's quite reluctant to talk about himself or, well, anything, really. But I feel like he's the sort of person to suffer unjust punishment rather than rebel against something like that, you know? The Pillars of Silence. I wonder if we will see those at some point. Lashed upon the pillars, Zerthimon moved his mind to a place where pain could not reach, leaving his body behind. Now that's a useful skill. He lasted a turning, and when he was brought before Arlathi twice deceased, he gave gratitude for his punishment to the Illithid, as was custom. In so doing, he proved himself a slave in the Illithid eyes, while his heart remained free. Ah, okay, so yeah, so the Illithids, they try to sort of enslave everyone and everything, you know, and this was basically Arlathi's way of testing whether he's not just pretending to be enslaved, but he could not imagine that he would be so good at pretending to be enslaved, you know? So Zerthimon managed to fool Arlathi. We're nearing the finish there. By enduring and quenching the fires of his hatred, he allowed Arlathi twice deceased to think him weak. When the time of the rising came, Arlathi was the first of the Illithid to know death by Zerthimon's hand and die a third death. A third death? What do you mean by third death? I feel like there is the concept of multiple deaths in this story, right? It has appeared at a couple of points, I believe. What does that mean exactly? Well, okay, what sort of realization am I supposed to draw from this circle of Zerthimon? What am I supposed to tell Dakon? What sort of virtue does this teach? Well, patience, sure. Suffering unjust punishment. I know what the sort of virtue it teaches, but I find it hard to put into words for some reason. It's better to wait and let your enemy think you weak, right? Something like that. Slide the plates closed and seal the circle. Sure. Let's talk to Dakon and let him help sort of flesh out what I have in my mind already. There are things I would know, particularly about your teachings. I have read the circle, Dakon. What did you come to know? Oh, endure, in enduring grows strong. Isn't that something he says? Isn't that something Dakon says? I've seen it, I could have seen it in the game actually, but I think I also heard it somewhere. I think Henry Cavill quoted that at some point, and I've seen that on like Reddit or somewhere. It's supposed to be like a famous Dakon quote. So that's definitely the correct answer here. I learned that sometimes a leader must suffer in order to protect his goals. Sure. But I think with Dakon it goes further. It's not just to achieve a particular goal that you have to tolerate discomfort. No, you should learn to tolerate discomfort for your own sake, or for its own sake, that is, because you never quite know what it might be useful for, and it's always useful for building character. You know, that's what I'm learning from this here. So, and yeah, to sum it up quite succinctly, endure. In enduring grows strong. The words you speak seem to strike Dakon strangely. As you speak them, his forehead creases, then resettles into its normal passive expression. Your will has brought you the knowing of the third circle of Zerthimon. With this knowing, I impart this to you. He takes the circle and with a deft motion he twists one of the links so one of the plates slides forth. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon its teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. Is this the last circle that we got, or... Well, no, actually. He just unlocked the 4th circle, or is this something else? Very well, I will study the circle. Is there more you can teach me? I don't know. I don't know why I think that this is the final one. I guess 3 feels like a really good number to stop on. But also there's like this finality to this line. Is there more you can teach me? As you ask the words, you suddenly notice that Dakon isn't looking at you. He is holding the unbroken circle in his hands, studying it. His blade has taken on the same texture as the unbroken circle, and Dakon suddenly seems older somehow. Did we just unlock a new level of understanding for him? Did we just help him reach beyond what he had ever reached before? I feel like... Listen, he's holding the circle in his hands, studying it. It sounds like he's seeing something there for the first time, something that he had never seen there. Maybe the phrase endure in enduring grows strong. See, the words you speak seem to strike Dakon strangely. It's maybe it's something that he had never been able to put into words quite like that himself. Maybe it's just something that sort of takes him beyond his current understanding. And of course, as a player, I think in gameplay terms too, okay, did I just level up Dakon in a, not a literal level up, but like a more abstract way, I suppose. Like, did he unlock any special abilities independently from the classic level up system for all the characters? Dakon suddenly seems older somehow. Well, I'm sorry to age you, my friend, but it sounds like it's something that's gonna benefit you, hopefully. Dakon? Dakon's black eyes rise from the circle and look at you. Know that I did not believe you would come to know the teachings of the circle. It is a difficult path you will walk in learning the way of Zerthimon. Is your mind focused on this matter? I mean, I suppose it's as focused as it can get. We're in a place with no distractions, no side quests, basically, so I can't get much more focused than that, you know? I wish to learn more. Dakon's fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle, and he twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthimon is open to you. Study it. Then I will hear your words. Alright. Part of me thinks... Stronger. Okay, I just leveled up. Part of me thinks that maybe I should space these out. To sort of allow for like... to roleplay a sort of natural growth of understanding rather than unlocking all the circles at the same time and just powering through them at an unnecessarily and unrealistically fast pace. But then again, I'm also just super interested in these circles, and I know I will forget them if I try to do like one every episode or one every couple of episodes. So I think it's just you know, we're focused on them right now. We're locked in, as the kids say. So let's try to read it. Hang on. I have these as items? I have the... Hang on. What is going on here? So he has the unbroken circle of Zerthimon, and I have the 3rd circle and the 2nd circle, and not the 1st circle for some reason. What is going on here? Also, the skull here is just terrifying. What is going on here? Okay, so... Oh, that's for unlocking new spells. Allows user to copy Scripture of Steel into the spellbook. Usable only by mages and nameless one. Well, we're both. Inscribed upon this circular plate is the 2nd circle of Zerthimon, and there it is in its entirety. Okay, so if I if I ever need to remind myself of the full sort of wording of the circle, I should... But then again, if I copy the spell, it will probably disappear and I won't be able to review it. Well, fortunately, I have footage of my gameplay, so if I really need to review it at some point, I have the perfect opportunity. But let's try to copy the spell then and see what happens. I succeeded, and it disappeared indeed, but maybe it still says it on the spell. Mage Spellbook, Scripture of Steel. Okay, and it doesn't say the second circle anymore. One of the earliest teachings of Zerthimon, this incantation reflects what knowing that flesh yields to steel achieves, bestowing a greater advantage to strike and the strength to resist damage. Right, this is an ability that Dakon already has, right? So we're sort of gaining Dakon's abilities here, which is very nice. Submerge the will. I mean... Let's keep going with the circle while I still can. If I run into any obstacles on that front, I will of course move on to other stuff. We also need to figure out how to get out of the Dead Nations in this episode, or just sort of progress in any other way, but I think the circle has priority now that I know about it and I'm focused on it. Unlock the fourth circle of Zerthimon. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakon showed you, and a new ring is revealed. The ring carries the same script as you read before, with the same geometries. You know the symbols, and know you can read them. Pause for dramatic effect. Read the fourth circle of Zerthimon. Know that the rising of the people against the Illithid was a thing built upon many 10 turnings of labor. Many of the people were gathered and taught in secret the ways of defeating their Illithid masters. They were taught to shield their minds and use them as weapons. They were taught the scripture of steel, and most importantly, they were given the knowing of freedom. "10 turnings of labor." So we did hear about the turnings before, which I assume is like, well, obviously it's passage of time, but like turnings of the sun, stars. I'm not exactly sure what is turning there, right? But passage of time. Okay. 10 turnings of labor. So this was basically a silent rebellion, you know, a sort of rebellion in the making, but not... Well, yeah, it was a rebellion, right? Or it would become a rebellion, as far as I understand it. Taught the Scripture of Steel, which is an actual spell that I know now. That's kind of funny. The knowing of freedom. Some of the people learned the nature of freedom and took it into their hearts. The knowing gave them strength. Others feared freedom and kept silent. But there were those that knew freedom and knew slavery, and it was their choice that the people remained chained. One of these was Vilquar. We've definitely heard that name before, and I cannot for the life of me remember where. I assume one of my previous conversations with Dakon, but I honestly have no idea. So the people were divided. They were not united in their purpose, in their desire. Knew freedom and knew slavery, and still some of them chose that they remain slaves. Interesting. Vilquar saw no freedom in the rising, but opportunity. He saw that the Illithid had spawned across many of the false worlds. Their worlds numbered so many that their vision was turned only outwards to all they did not already touch. Vilquar's eyes saw that much took place that the Illithid did not see. To the rising, the Illithid were blinded. Illithid had spawned across many of the false worlds. Okay. It kind of sounds like he was about to betray the people, but I'm not so sure anymore. To the rising the Illithid were blinded, sure, but then Velquar came before his master, the Illithid Zigitaris, with the knowing of the rising. Velquar added to his chains and offered to be their eyes against the rising. Okay, he definitely betrayed them. Never mind, what was I thinking there? In exchange, Velquar asked that he be rewarded for his service. The Illithid agreed to his contract. Zigitaris or Zigitaris, something like that. That's, I hope I don't have to pronounce that name much. At the bonding of the contract, a dark time occurred. Many were the betrayals Velquar committed, and many were the people that the Illithids fed upon to stem the rising. It seemed that the rising would die before it could occur, and the Illithid were pleased with Velquar's eye. A dark time indeed. Oh, Velquar's eye. That's a spell, isn't it? That's where I know the name from. Right? Am I crazy? I'm gonna have to check my spellbook after this, but I'll be really happy if I figured it out. It was near the end of this dark time when Zerthimon came to know Velquar's treacheries. In knowing Velquar's eye, Zerthimon forced the rising to silence itself, so that Velquar might think at last his treacheries had succeeded and the rising had fallen. He knew that Velquar's eye was filled only with the reward he had been promised. He would see what he wished to see. Okay, that is some genius level moves here. So we have enslavers against whom there is a rebellion being prepared, but then someone betrays the rebellion, but then the rebels learn of the betrayal, and so they pretend that the rebellion no longer exists. That's crazy. That's like there's like 4 layers of things going on here. Continue reading the symbols. With greed beating in his heart, Velquar came upon the Illithid Zigitaris and spoke to his master of his success. He said that the rising had fallen, and the Illithids were safe to turn their eyes outwards once more. He praised their wisdom in using Velquar's eye, and he asked them for his reward. In his greed-blindedness, Velquar had forgotten the knowing of why the people had sought freedom. He had lost the knowing of what slavery meant. He had forgotten what his Illithid masters saw when they looked upon him. And so Velquar's betrayal of the people was ended with another betrayal. Velquar came to know that when Velquar's eye had nothing left to see, Velquar's eye was useless. Of course, that was pretty predictable, right? The traitor never ends up well. You can't trust the enslavers. The Illithid gave to Velquar his reward, opening the cavity of his skull and devouring his brain. Velquar's corpse was cast upon the fields of husks so its blood might water the poison-stemmed grasses. Okay. What did I learn from this circle? I feel like this one was way more heavily narrative than the previous ones. Like, sure, there were sort of there were narrative elements in the previous ones, but this one was like all narrative, wasn't it? Everything was quite concrete, nothing too abstract, really. So, I wonder what Dakon will have to say about this.
What is your will?
When one chooses to see without knowing, they betray themselves? Interesting that I only have one option here, because I usually had 2, right? I had like the more abstract, the smarter option, and then I had the basically to basically rephrase exactly what happened in the circle. But this seems like the first option only. I don't have an option to talk about Velquar and how he betrayed the people and then he was betrayed himself. Well, I guess I'll pick the one option I have then. When one chooses to see without knowing, they betray themselves. Sure, I can see that.
Updated my journal.
Dakon's forehead creases into a frown. Then you have come to know nothing. You are one who hears the words and does not know them. Ah, okay. I think I have been blocked by my wisdom, perhaps? Could it be my wisdom? Let's just take a quick look at my stats. Dexterity, wisdom 14. Honestly, that's not too crazy, is it? My charisma is at 18. Wisdom could definitely use a tune-up, but I'm not really sure how to boost it further, apart from the
All right.
From the tattoos that we bought, right? We have the tattoo of revelation, that's intelligence, the tattoo of the soul, that's +2 to wisdom, tattoo of action. I think there's like a tattoo that gives you +3 to wisdom, but it's super expensive. Or maybe there isn't. I'm not sure. Anyway, I think this is a good time to actually level up. 1 characteristic points gained. Okay, does that mean what I think it does? Can I? Well, there we go. Just in time. Okay, wisdom it is. I think we will just keep doing wisdom until we hit like 18 or 20 or something like that, as you guys told me on the very first episode, actually, right? My wisdom is average without the boosts, and now it's above average without the boosts, and with the boosts it will be 15. So maybe that will be enough. Actually, maybe I should just learn the circle again and see if I can learn anything new from it. Do I have to read it again, or do I just talk to Dakon again?
Sure will.
There we go. New option unlocked. See, I figured it out on my own. Not that it was hard. What the hell is this option though? This is like 4 lines. When one chooses to see only what is before them, they see only a part of the whole. They are blind. And just as Velquar was blinded by his promised reward, so were the Illithids blinded to the true rising. For when they heard Velquar's words, they turned their sight outwards again, didn't they? And the rising was free to strike. Okay, honestly, that feels like the sort of option that would come second, usually, but sure. And it's apparently the best option I can pick, alright. Know that you speak truly. Velquar's eye blinded both Velquar and the Illithids. The tentacled ones thought the rising to be no more. When the rising occurred, the ground drank deep of Illithid blood. So was victory born from treachery. It is a curious lesson. Why would it be part of the teachings of Zerthimon? Yeah, that's what I said. It feels a bit different from the other ones, doesn't it? Dakon's blade bleeds into a dead night black and his voice deepens for a moment. For a moment you think he's angry, but you're not so sure. There is much about the way of Zerthimon and his path that is difficult to know. Well, do you know why Velquar's eye is part of the way? It is part of the telling of how our people came to know freedom. It lets us know that there are those, even among the people, who are not of the people, and that even in the greatest treachery, a greater knowing may be achieved. Okay, side note, but I find this to be like a pretty common element of some real-world religions, that there is always an element or several elements that you struggle with, you know, that don't really make sense to you, that just feel off, you know? And I think the struggle is kind of part of how you grow in your faith, in whatever your religion or other type of persuasion is, right? Like, for example, for Christianity, it seems to me like, well, well, I mean, it's kind of a big part of Christianity, but the Old Testament is something that many Christians struggle with, right? Because it's kind of there are lots of elements there that people wouldn't really be happy taking as their guide to a good life these days, you know. Anyway, that could be a whole tangent on its own, but I just wanted to say that I find it curious how even in Dakon's sort of or in the Githzerai philosophy slash myth slash religion, there is this one element that seems to be just incomprehensible to the believers, to the faithful, you know. Very well. You have come to know the fourth circle of Zerthimon. He takes the circle, and with a deft motion he twists one of the links so one of the plates slides forth. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon its teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. I would know more. Okay, so yeah, so that's what's happening here. He hands me the plate, literally. So I shouldn't have really been surprised there to actually have them appear in my inventory, right? I would know more of the way. Dakon's fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle, and he twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthimon is open to you. Study it. Then I will hear your words. I will read it, but not right now, I think, because I have just hit my wisdom limitations, it seems, right? So I assume that the requirement for the wisdom goes up with each circle, right? And I've only now hit it, so 15 was the requirement for the fourth circle, and for the fifth, could be 17, could be 18. What do I know? But I have a feeling it won't be 15, so I think I will wait until I have boosted my wisdom just a bit and maybe try it then. Now, I have the fourth circle, which, yes, copies Vilkwar's Eye. That's right, so that's definitely where I saw it, right? It's a spell that Dakon has available, and I remember that, right? And actually, these all use the Circle of Zerthimon as their spell symbol, so it makes them very easy to identify which ones are directly tied into the teachings. Now, what is Dakon's wisdom, actually, now that I think about it? His wisdom is 13. So he really shouldn't be able to figure the previous one out either. That's okay. I find that a bit funny. I'm wiser than Dakon at this point, and more intelligent. But yeah, obviously that's not quite how that works. But anyway, this was fascinating. I see that I've passed another half hour reading the teachings of Zerthimon. That's some riveting gaming content right here. But I enjoyed them very much, so I look forward to diving into them once more later. Now let's get back to the task at hand, which currently is getting out of here. And I asked you guys what I should do here, because I was honestly really stuck in the last episode. I was very much unsure as to what I should do to get out of here. And apparently I should speak to Hargrimm some. Have I spoken to this doubtful skeleton, though? I know there's the puzzled skeleton. I know there's the... Is this a third kind of skeleton tied to the skeleton riddle? Okay, side quest, tangent. Greetings. It looks up and, seeing you, sighs with a small puff of dust. I have much on my mind and would prefer to be left alone. Is there something I can help you with? No, I have a difficult decision to make, 'tis all. What decision would that be? To continue my life here, or to die, to finally pass into the true death I have been told of. Hang on, no, I think we already talked to this guy, but I thought we settled that pretty well. I see no reason why you should give up your life. I shall take thy words into consideration. Now I ask thee to leave me to my thoughts. Farewell. Okay, so if I meet you the next time, I would just have the same option. Okay. I wonder what would happen if I chose the other option, because I'm pretty sure I chose the same one as the last time, right? Riddling skeleton. My riddling friend. I would like to finish this sort of riddling slash puzzle skeleton riddle quest. I'm not quite sure how to go about it, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, you know, because it's just me speaking to the characters over and over again. So I'll try to get this done briefly if I can, and if I can't figure it out, I guess we'll just go and talk to Hargrimm. This skeleton is shaking its head and giggling to itself. It guffaws and snorts occasionally, biting down on its bony hand to stop itself. It is old enough so that no meat is left on its bones, only a few colored rags. Greetings. Greetings, yes. It sniggers, puffs of dust flying forth with each breath. I would like the answer to one of your riddles. That's a different option that we haven't picked yet. It titters mockingly. Not likely. Seeing your expression only causes it to laugh harder, chattering its teeth at you. What is the riddle then? It nods, giggling. Dost thou want to hear it? Yes. Oh no, it's the Gree riddle again. Alright, what's the answer? Tell me. Not a chance. Not a chance. Seeing your expression only causes it to laugh more, chattering its teeth at you. Okay, you know what? Tell me, you motherfucker, or I'll break you into tiny giggling bits, okay? I'm pretty pissed at this guy at this point, so I think this is actually something I might do. So let's pick the truth option. Tell me or I'll break you. The laughter stops abruptly. Huh. The skeleton turns its head away from you. And I'm not breaking him because he just keeps standing there. You know, the more I think about this, the more I feel like this is a reference to some obscure philosophical texts that I've never read, but it just feels like something this game would do, you know? For some reason, I don't know. It's the strangest feeling I have. Just, I have a feeling that there's like some sort of text that philosophy majors probably know. A text that someone has written like 50 years ago or whatever. And I don't know. I just feel like this is referencing something. It's got to be referencing something. But there's no point talking to the puzzled skeleton because frankly, he just he's not too bright. He's not gonna help me learn anything new. Okay, I'm walking in circles here. Maybe I should, whoa. Maybe I should go this way. Love it when I accidentally click off my game mid-recording. Skeleton Merchant, do I have anything for you? Or do you have anything for me? I have some bronze rings. Maybe I should talk to him as Mort, just to sort of... Oh, you again? What do you want now? Are you going to answer any of my questions? No. He looks around behind you. I'd rather stare at the wall, frankly. He looks back at you. Are you going to buy something or not? Okay, weird interaction, but sure. Let's sell you the bronze ring and the gold ring. I don't think I have any use for those. And let's sell you the cranium rat tails. How do I sell multiple, though? Can I sell multiple? Or will he just give me 1 gold for... Okay, there it is. You gotta double click it. Right. Sell it. There we are. Man, this place is actually quite small, but I still find it hard to... Well, to find who I'm looking for at this point, which is Hargrimm. I think he just walks around this place non-stop. So, I could miss him pretty easily, which I am missing him quite easily, actually. That's what's happening here. Okay, wow, I finally found Hargrimm. Took me a while. Hargrimm, come here. Hargrimm acknowledges your presence by nodding quietly in your direction. Why have I been made a prisoner? 'Tis the will of the Silent King. The living who are caught here are made to languish in his halls until they join the quiet ones. Could he be convinced to allow otherwise?
Updated my journal.
Well, there we go. After a short silence, its jaws creak open. 'Tis doubtful, but perhaps. Mysterious are the ways of Silent King. Well then, may I speak with him? It holds up a bony palm. With a creaking groan and a puff of dust, its jaws open to speak. No. Its voice, deep and resonant, echoes for a long while in the vaulted chamber. But I need his permission to leave. It holds up its palm. No. By the power of the Silent King, thou shalt not leave this place. What can I do to convince you, then, if revealing a traitor isn't, or a spy isn't enough? It considers you for a moment before speaking. Prove to the dead nations that thou mean it no harm. Acts of goodwill. Perhaps then I shall take thy petition to the Silent King. I could tell the dustman that Farad is selling them corpses he stole here. I'm certain they'd stop Farad. Again, was me revealing a spy not enough to prove my loyalty? Oh, never mind then. I could tell the dustman that, sure. I am sure thou can see the problems inherent in thy offer. We cannot allow thee to leave simply in the hopes that thou would do such a thing. Well, is there some task that I could perform
Updated
then?
my journal.
Yes, perhaps. Occasionally the ghouls will miss small packs of well-hidden cranium rats that have come to spy here. Shouldst thou come across any, be sure to slay them. I just told you of a very big spy of the cranium rats. Okay, sure, tell me about the rats. They are hive-brained vermin who once came here in great numbers, feeding upon the corpses in our care. The ghouls have, for the most part, driven them back. They no longer leave their warrens to the east of here. Well, do they have any weaknesses?
Updated my journal.
Their strength is in gathered numbers. If one were to find and slay small, separated groups, the stronger packs would slowly lose power. In the rat warrens to the east, for instance, they are very powerful. Brain vermin killed in the hive above might weaken them here, though. Again, if you're not gonna let me out of here, I can't really do anything in the hive now, can I? Okay. Let's try this one again. I don't really understand how this answer is supposed to help me, you know? I mean, I can't get out of here. There are no cranium rats around here, as far as I can tell. Okay. Let me ask you of someone in particular, maybe? No, all of these people I've already asked about. You still haven't seen the bronze sphere? No. Okay, well, you just... okay, sure. The journal. Let's review the journal. Hargrimm told me that there was a chance the Silent King could be persuaded to release me. If I could only meet with him somehow. I'm very curious to meet this Silent King. I'm interested to see what they actually look like, or what they are like, you know? Hargrimm told me to look around the dead nations and slay any cranium rats I might happen upon. I mean, I can do that, sure. If there are any cranium rats, because I seriously haven't seen any, and I've walked around this place a bunch, mostly looking for you, actually. I don't know, I don't like this. I feel like me snitching on Soego really should have been enough to prove my loyalty here. But I guess Hargrimm is the what have you done for me lately type, so I'm not exactly sure what to look for here. I mean, I doubt a rat is just going to come out of the wall like that and, you know, pop its little head out and just let me see it. Maybe I should be looking into containers too and just seeing if I can find any signs of the rats. Hargrimm, you mind helping me out here? This is crazy. Maybe I should ask some of the other inhabitants of the dead nations for help. Akaste. Can I ask you of the cranium rats? No. Okay. Maybe they're hiding around the throne room, I don't know. Maybe they are somewhere in these parts. Man, if you guys can't find them, you guys literally live here. If you can't find them, how do you expect me to do so? Okay, and then he told me that in order to better fight the cranium rats, I should seek out and destroy as many smaller concentrations of them as possible. That way the larger groups would have less rats and thus less power to call upon in battle. I wonder if there will be like a giant battle sequence at some point where the power of the rats depends on how many I've killed. That would be pretty cool. Ah, okay, this is a locked door that I haven't really had the chance to
I will hear you.
Look beyond yet, and I wonder, does this have anything to do
Your
with
will be done.
with the rats? Could it be that there are rats behind the door here?
I cannot force this.
Well,
Done.
I cannot force this, sure. Okay, well, I guess we're still kind of stuck, just as we were before, actually. I thought I was about to make a lot of progress here, but I made some progress with the Circle of Zerthimon, for sure. But the rats? I have no idea where they could be, like seriously. Oh! There they are! Jesus Christ, that scared me. Okay, I found the rats.
Balance in all things.
Sure. I'm so confused that I completely forgot how to even play this game. Okay, send more to head. That's the key here. Now for my mages, let's do let's do a chromatic orb here. Sure, why not?
It is I.
Dakon, maybe send him in with the blade, just to see. Okay, turned out pretty well. Help Dakon here.
Did you see that?
Damage 18. You are
Did you see that?
you are an absolute beast, Mort.
Damn it.
Well,
I'm gone.
we eradicated them. The question is, are there more that I should eradicate around here? Or will this be enough for Hargrimm? If I can even find Hargrimm in the first place, because he's off wandering as usual. Okay, let's just keep walking for a little while longer to see if there are any more rats, as well as to find Hargrimm, right? Where are you, my friend? He doesn't tend to hang around here, so I really shouldn't be looking for him here, should I? He's always like around around this part of the... Well, there we go. There he is. Hargrimm. I found and killed a group of cranium rats in the rubble of an old passageway.
Updated my journal.
Whoa! So much XP for that. That's crazy. The XP rewards are going crazy lately. It nods, obviously pleased. Thou have our thanks. May the Silent King watch over thee. So, can you speak to the Silent King for me now? I shall carry thy request to the Silent King. Thanks. The Silent King has spoken. Thou art free to go. Thy way shall no longer be barred. Oh, well, I was kind of hoping to speak to him myself, but, thanks. I was looking forward to meeting him, you know? I guess that's not happening.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthimon, I have become stronger.
Jeez, so much XP. Okay, now we have leveled up the con. 1 hit point and 1 from Constitution, and spell memorization abilities have increased. Whatever that means. And now we can leave, apparently, which would be... Oh, would it be through this door, actually? Is this just the exit? Yes. Okay, the whole time I thought this was some sort of secret corridor. No, it's just the exit. Drowned nations? What? Okay. So this looks like an extension of the Dead Nations, really.
All right.
Interesting. How big is this place? What the hell? Is this for real, or is this like gonna be half empty? Okay, wow. Crazy. Also, I just noticed there's an add note button. I can just add notes on the map. Good to know. Good to learn something new in episode 28. Alright, yeah, that will do it for today's episode. We will continue next time here from the Drowned Nations. So thank you for watching. I have been Savle, and we will see each other in episode 29. Bye.